What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. And Manchester United have won 2-1 against Brentford at Old Trafford in what was, I would say, a decent performance. I think in the first half Manchester United were a little bit poor, and Brentford did kind of have a couple of chances, but reasonably going into half-time. We did go into half-time 1-0 down. And if we have a look at Erik Ten Hag's starting lineup, I wasn't necessarily very happy with the starting lineup. Obviously, Onana in net, Dalot, De Ligt, Evans and Martinez at centre-back. I mean, Mazraoui was on the bench after having a procedure on his heart. I'm not fully sure what the details were, something to do with an irregular heartbeat or something like that. So Mazraoui was on the bench and he didn't start. I would have started him. If you're fit enough to be on the bench, you are fit enough to start. But in terms of the defence, they were okay this match. I was particularly impressed with De Ligt. Evans was also neat and tidy on the ball, and Martinez was also kind of decent in winning the ball back sometimes as well. And Dalot as well, a reasonably good performance from him as well. Casemiro and Eriksen started in midfield, and that's who I would have gone with in the centre of the pitch. Ugarte was on the bench, and then up front he went with Garnacho on the left, Bruno in the number 10, and then Rashford on the right with Hojlund up front. So yeah, like I said before, I wasn't necessarily happy with the team that much. Personally, I would have started Amad from the beginning, and it's very unfortunate that Amad Diallo isn't getting the minutes that he deserves, in my opinion. I think that Amad Diallo kind of offers a little bit more, something different as well than Garnacho and Rashford. I think Garnacho and Rashford are pretty similar in terms of what they want to do. They want to both of them want to play on the left wing. They both want to cut in and have shots. And that's what we did see quite a lot of Garnacho with this game as well. Garnacho cutting in from the left-hand side and shooting quite often. So yeah, in terms of the match starting off, I do believe that Man United started off quite poorly, in my opinion. The first 20 minutes, Brentford did dominate possession. In the first 20 minutes, Brentford had about 68% possession, and they did dominate the early proceedings of the game as well. And a couple of chances Brentford created in the early stages. Man United tried pressing high in that traditional kind of 4-2-4 high press we've been seeing, but Brentford did play it out of it really well. And sometimes you had Rashford and Hojlund up front pressing them too, and then Bruno would be on the right wing, and then sometimes you would have Hojlund and Bruno pressing as the two strikers, and then Rashford on the right wing as well. So yeah, in terms of my opinion, like I mentioned, I would only play Rashford, one of Rashford and Garnacho, and then on the right wing I would go with Amad personally. That's my opinion, and then I would bring on Garnacho from the bench as well. But Garnacho can't be underestimated. He did have a decent game in my opinion. So 10 minutes into the game, De Ligt does pick up a head injury, and he was bleeding quite often in the first half as well. But yeah, in terms of another chance that chances that Man United have had in the first half, Garnacho has a good shot, 25 minutes gone from the left hand side, but it's near post, and it's a good build-up play from Man United, but the keeper Flekken, he saves well. And then Norgard takes a shot from outside the box after some decent build-up play from Brentford, and Onana has to make a good save as well. So 35 minutes gone, Man United try pressing high, but Brentford play out of the press quite easily. Brentford are attacking and then lose it, and then Man United break, and then after Man United break, Rashford plays a nice crossfield pass from the right hand side to Garnacho, who is through on the left hand side, but he skies it over the bar. I think Garnacho has to be working the keeper there with that shot. It's good build up play from Man United, and Rashford, he made some decent switches from the right hand side to Garnacho on the left hand side. But Brentford do grab the first goal at the end of the first half in injury time, because De Ligt had to keep going off. I think there was 4 or 5 minutes added on at the end of the first half. So Brentford do go a goal up from a corner. Brentford, Damsgaard swings in a corner. Dalot loses his marker. I think Dalot is marking Pinnock. Pinnock scores with a free header, and obviously just before that, De Ligt had to come off after bleeding from his head injury. And yeah, so it was very unfortunate that Man United were going 1-0 down. But in terms of play, I think Man United in the first half were quite poor. I didn't really see anything from Man United in the first half to kind of warrant them to be going up 1-0 at half time. I think Brentford just about edged it in the first half and probably deserved to be 1-0 up. But it was a pretty even game in the first half. So even if both sides, even if it was 0-0 going into half time, I think it would have been fair. But Brentford did grab a goal from a corner 50 minutes, 45 minutes, 5 minutes into injury time at the end of the first half. So there were some boos at Old Trafford at the end of half time, I did hear. But to be honest, we didn't kind of create enough to kind of be going into half time 1-0 up. So in terms of stats at the end of the first half, Man United edged possession with 53.5% possession at the end of the first half. Man United had 10 shots, 3 on target, and they had 18 touches in the box compared to Brentford's 9 as well. So it was an average display for Man United in the first half. So second half kicks off, and Man United have a very good second half. I'm not quite sure what tactical switch Erik Ten Hag did make, but Man United started off very good in the second half, and Man United do grab a goal in the 47th minute through Garnacho. It's a brilliant equaliser from Manchester United within 90 seconds of the restart. Marcus Rashford with an angled ball from deep on the right hand side. It finds Garnacho at the back post, and he hits a beautiful, gorgeous volley past Mark Flekken. Very good technique from Garnacho, winger to winger. And Marcus Rashford had a decent game playing on that right-hand side, kind of making very nice switches to the left-hand side to Garnacho as well. It's a wonderful ball from Rashford to the far post, and Garnacho meets it on the volley and crashes it past Flekken. Beautiful technique from Garnacho, and a very, very nice pass from Marcus Rashford with the assist as well. And Man United responded in a good way at the kind of start of the second half. They did dominate, I would say, the first 15-20 minutes of the second half as well. Garnacho then has a good shot in the 50th minute, but it's on Man United on the break, but the keeper saves well. And Casemiro has a good shot as well from outside the box, but the keeper saves it again. I think the sun was getting in Flecken's eyes, so he had to wear a cap at the for the second half, and Casemiro has that shot, but he saves it as well. 62 minutes gone, and Man United do go ahead to make it 2-1. Brentford try playing out but lose possession. Martinez, who was playing at left back, he steps out from the defence and wins the ball back, and then he plays it to, I think, Christian Eriksen. Christian Eriksen then plays it to Bruno Fernandes, and he makes a very clever flick around the corner to free Rasmus Hojlund, and it's a superbly calm finish too, dinking the ball over Mark Flekken, who's rushing out to kind of block the angle. And Man United, 1 down at the break, are now 2-1 up. And that was a very good goal for Man United, very good build-up play, very good in terms of winning that ball back high in the Brentford half. And 68 minutes gone though, Man United do grab another chance. Onana plays a nice through ball to Dalot, who's made a very nice run from right back. He's through on goal, but the keeper saves it, and I think Dalot probably should have scored that. If he has a better touch and he's able to kind of take it down, I do think that Dalot should have scored that. And 80 minutes then, Xerxes does come on for Hojlund, and 80 minutes gone, and Man United do have another chance. This time it falls to Xerxes. Marcus Rashford nudges the ball through to substitute Xerxes, but the ball bounces just away from him, and Flekken is happy to dive on the ball and take it into his palms. And then De Ligt then wins the ball back as well, and then he breaks down the right hand side and he puts in a nice cross to Garnacho, who shoots straight at the keeper. And I'm not sure how many shots Garnacho had, but he was very lively throughout this game. He had a very good performance as well. And then finally Garnacho comes off for Mazraoui, and Man United switch to that 5 at the back to just see the game out. And in terms of stats at full time, you have a look at the stats. Man United had a total of 23 shots, 11 on target, and then they had 50% possession throughout the game, 35 touches in the box compared to Brentford's 15 as well. So it's very good. Very good play for Man United in the second half. I think they deserved the win due to their second half performance. And finally, we've got a win in the Premier League. I think the last time we won was on the kind of 14th of September, I think, almost like 5 weeks ago in the Premier League. So in terms of insights, if we have a look at the insights for the match, after dropping the most points from winning positions in the Premier League last season, Brentford have already Brentford have already also now dropped the most after leading this season in the division, so 11. Brentford have dropped 11 points from leading positions, and they dropped 30 points from leading positions last season. Man United have won all 4 of their Premier League games at home against Brentford, only facing Wigan, Birmingham and Portsmouth as many more times at Old Trafford while winning 100% in the competition. So Brentford have now scored in each of the last 6 Premier League games. This is now the Bees' longest ever run in the competition. So they're your insights for the match. In terms of Man United, it's a very good win. It eases some pressure on Erik ten Hag, and I'm very happy with the win. Like I mentioned before, I did not believe we would win this match. I fully believe that we would lose simply because I don't have kind of faith in Erik ten Hag anymore. I still believe that Erik ten Hag, I still believe we need a change of manager, but I don't know kind of when. Obviously, kind of sacking your manager mid-season, I'm not really for that unless it gets really, really bad, like I did with Jose. But with Oli, I do believe that with Oli, he deserved until the end of the season. So yeah, I mean, like I mentioned with Erik ten Hag in my previous videos, I do believe he should have been sacked after the FA Cup final win for finishing 8th. Louis van Gaal finished 5th and he won the FA Cup on goal difference as well, and he was sacked. So in terms of if we have a look at the formations, let's just have a look here right now. So this is how Man United started off. They both sides played a 4-2-3-1 formation, and then I have to say, I do believe that even though Garnacho played on the left-hand side, Marcus Rashford was on the right-hand side. I do prefer Marcus Rashford on the left. I do believe that Rashford is an overall better player than Garnacho, and even though Garnacho is pretty young, I think he's only 20 years old, and Rashford is about 26, I think. I do believe that Rashford on the left-hand side is better than Garnacho. I believe he has a little bit more quality, and even though Rashford and Garnacho are similar players, I would prefer to be kind of starting Rashford and Ahmad. And like I mentioned previously, we are unbeaten in the Premier in all competitions when Ahmad and Eriksen start. So personally, I would prefer if Ahmad did start. I do believe Ahmad deserves a couple more minutes in my opinion. In terms of the backline and Onana, I think they had a very decent game. I think of the back 5 was pretty decent. I think De Ligt especially was pretty good as well, kind of clearing up headers on the ball, and Onana's distribution as well did seem a little bit better this game. I do think he needs to improve that. In terms of the double pivot, Casemiro and Eriksen, they didn't really get overrun that much because Rashford and Garnacho, both of them were working really hard defensively, going back and tracking their man and helping out the midfield, so we weren't kind of exposed as much as we have been playing that 4-2-4 high press. So I was very happy with Garnacho and Rashford kind of working really hard defensively as well. In terms of Bruno, I do believe that Bruno Fernandes had a quiet game. I do think that Bruno kind of needs to be stepping up a little bit, even though he did pick up an assist for that Garnacho goal. I do believe that Bruno needs to be putting a little bit more, in my opinion. He needs to be kind of contributing more. He hasn't scored a goal this season, if I'm not mistaken, in all comps. I don't remember. He's definitely not scored in the Premier League, Bruno. In terms of Rasmus Hojlund, again getting on the score sheet finally, his first Premier League goal of the season. He was okay, but again, I'm expecting a little bit more from him. I think I'm expecting a little bit more from Bruno and Hojlund. I think Rashford and Garnacho did have a decent game, but if we have a look at the kind of the setup that Man United have right now, which I don't kind of particularly like. I don't like this 3-5-2. This 3-2-5 formation, and even though kind of teams play it because you can outnumber the opposition if they're playing a back 4, but you can see here that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus the Man United 5. it's a 5v5 up front. Someone needs to be dropping into this position right here so that Lisandro Martinez can play that ball in there. Someone like a Bruno, he needs to be dropping into this position where the referee is right there in the center of the pitch. And once Bruno or someone, Eriksen, kind of drops into that position, then I think that you've got some free space there to kind of work, and something can be created. This is very static in my opinion, and I don't like our wingers, and I don't care who's really playing there. I don't like them as wing backs. They're basically playing as wing backs. You got Garnacho there, out there on playing basically left wing back. Then you've got Rashford all the way out wide on the right hand side. I think that Rashford and Garnacho need to be kind of a little bit more closer to the central striker Hojlund, and Bruno needs to be dropping a little bit deeper there. And so I would personally prefer if Man United switch to a kind of a 3-4-3 possession shape, whereby you've got the fullbacks kind of in these positions here. You got like Lisandro Martinez in this fullback position here. Then you got Dalot over here, and then in the center of the pitch, you've got Bruno and Eriksen as a 2 there in the centre. Then at centre back, you've got Casemiro who drops in there to make a 3, and then up front you've got Rashford, Garnacho and Hojlund. Personally, I would prefer that a lot more than this 3-2-5 formation. But the 3-2-5 right now is very popular among football managers. But if you do the 3-2-5 here, you can kind of, someone just needs to drop into this position here, and then you literally outnumber the opposition there as well. So if you look at Brentford here, they're setting up in a 5 kind of 1-2-3-4-5-5-4-1 formation, and that 2 kind of double pivot there is just outnumbered because you've got 1-2-3-4 versus that 2 in the middle there. So someone needs to drop in there and kind of make it a 4v3. It would still be a 4v3 in Brentford's favour, but the space is here. This is where the space is, and so if someone just drops in there, gives Lisandro Martinez an option, that would be very good. If Man United kind of employ that style. So personally, I'm not a fan of the 3-2-5 possession shape. I do believe switching to a 3-4-3 would be more beneficial for Manchester United when in possession. So if we have a look finally at the league table, we are up to the mighty heights of 10th. We are in the top half of the table for the first time since a very long time. I don't know when. We are in the top half of the Premier League all the way since the first game of the season when we beat Fulham and we went top, because that was the first game of the Premier League season. And now we were 10th when we beat Southampton as well. We are now up to 10th position. We have a total of 11 points. Again, we are still 6 points off top 4 because Villa did win against Fulham. So we are 6 points. We are still 6 points away from top 4, but we are up to the mighty heights of 10th. In terms of my kind of man of the match, I am gonna have to go with Garnacho. I do think that he had a very good game. In terms of what's up next for Manchester United, we've got some very tough couple of fixtures coming up. Our next game is against Fenerbahce. Let's just have a look at the fixtures here now. Our next game is against Fenerbahce in the Europa League on Thursday. Then we are back in action again in the Premier League against West Ham. So it's going to be a very tough kind of set of fixtures, especially away to Fenerbahce against Jose Mourinho's side. We need to be putting a run together. Genuinely, we really do need to be pushing on and getting a run together. But with how inconsistent Manchester United have been under Erik ten Hag, and how inconsistent Man United have been since Sir Alex Ferguson left, I really don't think that much can be salvaged from the season right now. I'll be if you offered me top 4, I'm taking it right now. Of course, if you offer me top 4 with no trophies, I'll take that. If you offer me top 4 and then we finish top half, if you offer me kind of If you offer me you winning the Europa League and finishing top half of the league, I'll take that as well. Anything that can, get us Champions League qualification, I'll take that personally. So yeah, anyway, happy with the win. Extremely happy with the win. That Man United have not ruined our weekend once again. But yeah, looking forward to the next. Well, I'm not looking forward to the next games, I'll be honest with you. I thought we'd lose this game, but I'm extremely happy with the win. Extremely happy that Man United haven't destroyed our weekend. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, comment, and I'll catch you in the next one.